ADD fam. What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. So, a good one for today. As I've mentioned before, lived a mile long of shit shows, and good and bad. So for every good, there's bad, vice versa, right? So let me tell you, let me bust it on you. Let me tell you about this one time. Yeah, it's a knee slapper as usual. Will hardly ever catch me wasting my breath and tell some bullshit that's will put you to sleep. So stick with me on this. The year was 96-ish, around 1996. And the Olympics came here to Atlanta, right? The Olympics were held in Atlanta, I believe it's 96. So when the Olympics came to Atlanta, it boomed, it made the economy boom here, right? And so a lot of shit went down, right? Because of the Olympics. It caused a triple effect. A lot of industry and stuff got booming. Basically overnight, it went from like a rural area to like downtown New York. Major condensed population. This is what happened overnight here because of the Olympics. People from all over the world came here and flooded it. I've been here 40 years, so I've watched, this somewhat rural country town turn into a major city. I've watched it happen. So like I said, the Olympics came here and times were plentiful for a while. And this was at the time I was in my early 20s and I used to go bar hopping a lot. This was even before stripper girlfriend. So I used to go to Buckhead every weekend, as I've discussed. I used to go with my friend Todd a lot. Todd Winder, shout out to him. He was the guy who busted his nose, one of my best buds. I was fighting in the club and was getting kicked out one night, and he's coming in as I'm being hauled out. So it was that time. There was the other time when I punched him in the nose fighting the big dude. There was another time we were fighting 3 guys out on the street. So there was a lot of fighting going on with Todd, right? So it was always fighting or fucking, right? So in these days, I used to go with Todd. We used to hang out a lot. And Todd was a character in his own right. ADD dude, of course. He's an electrician now, owns his own electrical company. But an ADD dude, nevertheless, like me. So we'd go out all the time. One time we'd go out, we're tripping. We stop by this Mexican restaurant in Dunwoody before we go. We go to the Mexican restaurant, have some drinks. He hooks up with this chick. And so they start dating. She's got her boyfriend. When we meet her, she's with her boyfriend. Right in front of her boyfriend, she slips Todd her phone number. So he's over her house one day, fucking her, and her boyfriend comes home and, sees his truck. So it was just a, funny little saga to it. So I meet this chick, this girl, Mindy. We start dating. I meet this girl one night out at Club Anytime. Mindy was just coincidentally best friends, girlfriends with the girl Todd met at the Mexican restaurant. So we didn't really hang out that much, but we were seeing 2 girls that were friends with each other. Me and her, we dated for a minute and we split up. I see her a couple of years later, and I go to this girl's house that I've met through Todd. She's now my weed person, right? She's got these good hookups. So's the girl I was dating. And So I go to her house one day, and she's got like a couple of pounds laid on a coffee table, or a dining room table. Basically got the whole dining room table full of weed. Crazy shit, right? Several pounds. And had this killer mids back in the day that was really like dank. So I would see her all the time. So coincidentally, one time I went to go see her and get my weed. Mindy, my ex-girlfriend, was there, but I was already married. I show up. Her eyes light up. And so, she's asking me. I call her, but I like to go out, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, my wife's in the car. I said, no, thank you. I'm married now. And so, I could tell that she was, she wanted me bad and realized she fucked up, and so whatever. But just some other little story. I met her out one night while I was partying, and we went to Club Anytime and back streets. Me and her, another girlfriend of hers, and me and my buddy Clint. We go back to where Clint's living in Lake Arrowhead. We party that night. We date. We split apart, right? So, fast forward some time. I'm in Buckhead partying one night. For some reason, I think I wrote down there with my buddy Dan, and I was alone. There were times that we'd get to these bars, and there was a few of us, like 10, 15 guys I hung out with all the time. And so we would hang out with one another and whatnot, right? So one night I ride down there with Dan, and I'm by myself, okay? And there was these clubs, Club Mako, and there was World Bar, and there was another one. And I forgot the other one that was a hot bumping club at the time, too. We had buddies that were the same, that were barbacks and worked the door. So I can't remember the name of that club. So I'm at this club one night drinking in Buckhead, hanging out, partying. And these girls come up. And I'm just about getting tipsy. And they talk to me. And they're like flirting with me. There's like 8 to 10 of them, right? And I'm starting to catch a buzz. So I'm starting to hang out with these chicks, right? And they tell me they're here for the Olympics. Okay? So I'm getting tipsy. We're ordering drinks. It's me and these 8 to 10 girls at a table drinking, right? So, and I'm alone now, keep in mind. So we're all drinking, me and those girls. They're all talking to me, flirting with me. They're from all over the world. They're a different kind of person, literally a melting pot. Black girl from Nigeria, girl from Hungary, from Venezuela. You got the idea now, right? There were, chicks from all over the world. And we're sitting there drinking, hanging out, and then I say I'm going for smoke, so they come with me, and we're hanging out outside this bar, me and these 8 to 10 chicks, all good looking, and Todd happens to have, for some reason, he was in he had rented a limousine for the night, whatever it was during some time, and I would have to ask him what. So Todd pulls up in a limousine right in front of this bar, right? It's right on Peachtree Road. Todd pulls up in front of our bar, and he's in the whatchamacallit? He's in the limousine, and he's sitting out the sunroof, and he's screaming, "Woo!" He's drunk as hell. Him and his buddies is in there, and for some reason, I wasn't with him, but he pulls up and he's hanging out and he's yelling and screaming, and he's seeing all these girls around me, and he's screaming, "Woo woo! Rusty got it going on, woo woo! Hell yeah!" He's like, "Hook me up," I said, "Shit, hook yourself up." So we just happened to be there at the right time, at the right moment. So he's in the limousine, so he jumps out. He has a drink with me. He has to get back in the limo. Daps up, gives hugs, gives props, and he's gone, right? So now I'm real tipsy. Okay, now we're going on a couple hours. I've been sitting here doing shots. All these girls, and they're all, fired up in rare form, whatever. doing the woohoo girl thing. And, they're from all over the world, so they're strangers to each other. None of the same. So we're sitting down at the table, and now we've been here for a couple hours. Todd's come and gone. I've done had many, many drinks, and the conversation comes up about, so you're here for the Olympics. And so I bring up the Olympics, and they say, oh yeah, and they mumbled it earlier in the night. Olympics, right? So I'm thinking they're just here for the Olympics, okay? Drum roll, because you're not going to see this. No one's going to see this coming. So here's the kicker, okay? We had an Olympics. We had a Special Olympics. They were all here for the Special Olympics. Once I finally came to and actually could die, because it was loud. You're in a club and it's loud. They're talking. You're barely hearing shit anyways, right? So I lean over and this girl says, Special Olympics. I said, Special Olympics? Yeah, we're all here for the Special Olympics. And I look under the table, and they've all got fake legs. Every single one of them. All got fake legs. Peg leg, kick me with a kickstand. Yes. They were all there for the Special Olympics, and they all had fake legs. Some of them had, girls wear high stockings. So you got, socks covering 90% of the leg. And then you got a skirt. So you got very little, you couldn't see it. You would have had to be staring because they're hiding it. They're, whatchamacallit, disguising it, right? So I look under the table. And because now a lot of them are wearing skirts and shit, and according to the angle, standing out, just checking them out, you're not going to see it, right? But now I look under the table, and I see it all, and I was just another one of these Mike ADD moments. You just had to be there, So that one tickled me to death. Still tickles me to the death. I hope it tickles you. That's some fucked up shit, isn't it? So yeah, they were all hot, and they were all, and shout out to people with disabilities. They all had fake legs. Peg legs, kickstands, whatever. Maybe maybe not all of them, maybe a couple of them had missing one leg. You see what I'm saying? But they all had at least one leg. And I don't know if some did too, but they were all fake legged. And so we started dancing, and imagine dancing with 8 drunk amputees or whatever you would call it. Boy, that was a night. Man, how I wish they had cell phones and cameras and shit back then, I mean, can you put that in your thought process and tell me what you think, please? Give me an idea, because everyone that sees this needs to give some kind of comment. If you watch a video and you don't like and comment and subscribe, then you're definitely no friend of mine. So do what's right. Pass it on. You ain't gonna hear this kind of shit every day. Honest to God, no exaggeration. I'll get Todd one day, and he'll vouch for. He may not be able to vouch for the fake legs, but he'll vouch for the Mike and the 10 hot chicks from all girls from all over the world. Stay ADD. Love you all. Ha ha!